Welcome back to the bar. It's good to see you again in this second episode of Bar Chat, where we've got this. The series is looking at how you enable successful transformation. We looked at leadership in the first episode, and in this episode, we're going to look at aligning transformation with the maturity and the capability of your organization. So why would we look at that? Primarily because over the last 30 years, I have seen so many organizations outline a transformation journey that is literally shooting for the stars and absolutely not in the slightest bit aligned with where their capability and their maturity is as an organization today. And therefore, they struggle to land the transformation. So the key thing here is thinking about where do you actually sit as an organization. And if we look at that and what that means in reality, you can sort of plot it on a graph and you can say maturity of delivery as an example and capability down here. And then if you think about sort of where you are as an organization, you're likely to be somewhere on this grid. So if we just plot out here, a little matrix, if you are very high maturity and high capability, then you might be up here. But many of the companies that I have worked with over the years, when they actually start to mark themselves and they say, so project delivery, program delivery is a very good example, and that's something that we personally get involved in quite a lot. And when you look at things like mapping tool sets or new processes or new systems to the organization's capability and maturity, often there may be some really experienced program managers who are up here, really experienced and highly capable people at running big or whatever programs within your business. But in reality, when you look at the business as a whole, often that picture changes quite significantly and you have a much lower level of capability and maturity across the whole business. So the problem is that if you shoot for the stars and put your transformation goals in right in that top right-hand corner, they may be fine as goals to fit into maybe a 5-year plan or maybe even longer. But if you try and deliver that today, which is what we often see, then the transformation journey is highly likely to fail because the majority of your organization just won't be able to digest and manage and cope with that level of transformation. So the key thing for me is mapping out and being honest and looking in the mirror and saying, where do we really honestly believe we are? Not where I believe I am personally, but where the whole organization is as an average in terms of maturity and capability. And if it is down in this bottom left-hand corner, there's no problem having an aspiration to be up here. But the key thing really is to say, okay, this is an evolution, and it's an evolution that's going to happen as a journey over time. So what we therefore need is to have some steps that take us from the level of capability or the steps in transformation that enable us to go on a journey where we deliver increased capability and increased maturity in small steps. In line with where we are as an organization. And I think the key thing here is it's a journey, it's an evolution. And actually the other thing is if you work in small steps, it's far more deliverable. So, to get to here, maybe in the project world, just simply visibility and accountability of projects and sort of fairly straightforward methods and approaches for delivering projects. And then you move on to the next level, and then on to the next level, and then on to the next level. And of course, the main driver here is momentum. If you try and shoot straight for here, and it takes you a year to get there, or 2 years to get there, then very quickly the organization loses momentum. They sort of it loses its confidence in the initiative, the transformation initiative, and it loses its momentum. Whereas if you go in small steps, which are deliverable in every 6 months or every quarter, that just keeps that momentum going. This is a program, a transformation program that's succeeding because we've done this in the next 6 months, and then we've done this, and then we've done this, and we've done additional things, but they're tangible, they're deliverable, they are visible, and they've made a difference. And also we've been able to manage it as an organization because our capability and maturity is in line with where we're trying to deliver the transformation journey. So that's my bar tip for the day. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you managed to map out some good journeys, and I'll see you for the next one.